today's racers are Domirae, our leading. I think he's the leading racer overall for like the game, right?
Yeah, and he just PB'd yesterday on this for practice.
And Yam, who has been a continual trailblazer for skips, which I don't think is going to help him here necessarily because we're playing without those.
Yeah.
Either way, two top level players who are going to be doing excellent work today.
And whoever wins this is going to face you in the end.
I am excited to be completely destroyed.
Come on. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. We're getting questions from the runners. Yes, the countdown will be in the Match Talk channel. For those of you who aren't acquainted with the No Upgrades Amateur Circuit run, the standard route is to pick EB Endicott for the first 3 races of Amateur Circuit, and then switch to Aldar Beedo for the rest. Our 2 runners today are on PC, so that should be what we see a bit of today.
Yeah. Yeah. You're starting out this category, you'll probably be starting with pure EB. And then if you're like on a really low frame system like the 64 or Dreamcast, you'll actually use EB the first 4 tracks, then switch to Clegg because Beedo is so frightening to control at low frame rates.
This is true. Part of me is waiting with absolute bated breath anticipation, but the rest of me wants to fill the airtime with just anything.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like they're ready.
Yeah, that has been given. We will be starting shortly.
Oh, another important note is that this tournament will be running on in-game time only. We're not counting loads, we're not counting menuing.
Actually, we will be counting.
Oh, we will be today.
Because the in-game time only matters if you're playing a PC versus a Switch, Dreamcast, 64, or a non-PC player. But since both players are on PC, we are using real time.
Oh, okay.
And Yam's off.
I didn't realize that rule changed between things. Sorry to have given inaccurate information.
Yep. Dom's stream freeze.
It looks like it might have.
Oh no! Oh, here it goes.
There we are. I'm not sure how Goof fixed that, but he touched the screen region and everything's moving again on both sides.
Yeah. So now we're doing it.
That's going to be a massive sync if we try to sync the streams here.
We have a 50.76.
Did Dom freeze again, or is Dom paused until we're synced? Because that's not going to happen since he started later.
Yeah. If we were syncing, Yam would be paused.
I'm confused. I can commentate on Yam, though.
Yeah.
Good line through there. That boost is, that's more of a no upgrades boost to take in the middle of the canyon, right?
Yeah. And 50.28, so they're not that far off from the second lap. Dobbs is just repeatedly freezing, or it looks like our host is editing Dom's screen. So
interesting. Technical difficulties are always a wonder, aren't they?
So We have 48.
Yam's getting a pretty clean time here from the looks of things.
Yeah, they're all clean. And
Well, I didn't quite catch that, but I'm sure it was fast. Good thing we don't need the in-game time today.
Already it looks like Dom is like several seconds ahead going into Mon Gazza Speedway.
Oh, right, because he's already in Mon Gazza Speedway, but his timer is at 2:52 instead of 3:08. Oh man, that means I gotta go up against Dom.
21 seconds. And this could be a little dicey because you will lap the AI.
Always fun to be in direct competition with something that is A, 9 miles behind you, and B, able to destroy you by just being there. Yam crosses the line.
And Dom comes with a 350.
Oh, you can
There we
still
go.
see
He's
Yam's
on.
streak?
Oh, man.
Things are still much too early to call.
And a 101.
Dom keeps freezing like that. That's a good question from Metallica. Are both of our runners using the auto splitter right now? Are the timers loadless?
I don't think so.
Oh dear. Ooh, rough tent entry.
Well, tent entry, but it's really hard to survive that entry in general. Oh, that was a risky boost Dom took.
You can see Dom?
Nope. No, I was talking to Yam, and yes, it looks like Dom's green has...
Ooh.
There it is. Now we're about roughly in sync.
Just when you think he's out, he comes back in. But only visually, because he's actually been heavily competitive the whole time.
Looks like Dom is about 5 seconds ahead. Yeah, he's about 4 seconds ahead.
Should be getting over on that. Okay. I'm learning things about how I should be running just watching these two, which is exciting.
Goes for the slap boost. Wow.
I know when I first found out that you could... Ooh, clean tent entry from Dom. That was beautiful.
Oh man, Yam has major damage on the front of the engines.
Not red yet, but starting to be a little bit of a concern.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the game doesn't start pulling you in any directions until you have red damage, but it is annoying.
Not red, flashing red.
Flashing red does that?
Yes, flashing red. And then if you get flashing red warning, it means you'll blow up in 5 seconds if you don't repair, or if you boost during warning, you'll automatically blow up.
I didn't know it was a 5-second timer. I've never really gotten that, I've never had that last that long. Usually by the time I see flashing warning, I've either crashed into something, or I accidentally boost and die. The fact that these two are running such clean races is incredible.
Okay. 358, 408. Going to Beedo. Now,
it's interesting to note that though these two are visually in sync, Dom's timer is actually about 20 seconds behind? I think it is. Dom's timer reads 8:05 when Yam's reads like 8:25.
Baron just said in chat, I first found out about that shortcut immediately after my terrible showing against Yam.
His showing wasn't terrible, you just haven't run the category as much as Yam.
Yam said he didn't run this much either beforehand.
Okay, new theory. I think the only problem you had, Baron, was that you used Eevee the whole time. That match is archived on YouTube for anyone interested in seeing that. I don't know how to plug the YouTube channel. I don't know what it's called, but it's there.
But for a second, Yam Dom would crash into the doors.
Ooh. The doors on this map are interesting. I've had a couple of instances on Switch, and I don't know if it's like because at no upgrades you're going a little slower than usual or what, but sometimes I feel like as long as you are as far over as you can possibly be on the one side of the left door, you will not have an issue. I don't want to like say that is absolute fact, but I think I've driven through there without crashing. Not sure. While approaching the closed door, I mean.
Yeah. Usually I wait to see the door pattern outside of lap 1 before I know which route to take.
Dom has no skill is perhaps the most accurate sentence I have read today. Did Dom ever hold 50 out of 50 possible records for this game, or did he only get close?
He only got close. You remember how he didn't clench a world record for Mon Gazza first lap, fast lap?
Mon Gazza fast lap. That is one of the harder ones.
Probably is the hardest one. It's probably the most mastered record in the game.
The weird thing is, like, the track itself isn't difficult to complete. It's just everybody else also knows that, so we've gotten very, very optimized times.
Yeah.
Dom heading into Malastare 100.
Uh-oh!
Yam as well.
Yam failed the boost start. That's going to cost several seconds with no upgrade Beedo.
Well, still not out of the realm of possibility that Dom does something ridiculous, like crash to give us more content. Come on, commentators curse, do the clip farming for me. Or not, guess that's fair.
Okay. You can already see from the boost start that from not getting the boost start, Yam is... Oh, that's bad.
Ooh,
Yeah, Yam is
engine
12
fire.
units behind Dom now.
12 units. Oh, you're talking like arbitrary speed units, right? The thing that...
Yes.
Okay. My brain was like, how are you measuring that at these speeds? You're talking about speed, not distance. For those unaware, the box for this game changed the units on the back, but not the numbers between regions. So depending on who you ask, you're either going 1,000 miles an hour or 1,000 kilometers an hour.
Actually, they did see it.
They did?
Actually, they actually did change it. They put 600 miles per hour for the U.S. North American release, and then for the European version, they put 900 kilometers per hour.
That's weird. I thought it said 600 on both. Either way, there's been dispute about what those units actually are on the speedometer, so we've just taken to calling them arbitrary speed units, because really who cares what kind of movement we're making as long as it's fast.
227, down now into the hard part, which is Vengeance.
Vengeance is a fun place to be because you can soft lock.
Oh yeah.
On PC, you can Alt-Tab a few times to get out of it, which is interesting. I don't know how exactly that one works. Some vagary of programming.
It lowers your frame rate, which somehow breaks the soft lock.
Beautiful navigation of that section by Dom. I really like that.
At low frame rates, you just can't use Beedo for this track. It's just too dangerous.
Yeah, at frame rates like 24 and even 30, Beedo is way too slippery.
Particularly in the tube, which is where Dom just entered.
These tubes are, for some reason, absolutely loaded with boulders. I think that the reasoning was that these are ore chutes, ore conveyors of some kind. I forget what the lore says about it.
The lore, I actually read the lore was that the warden put the lore. I read the lore that the warden actually filled the anti-gravity tubes full of ore. Woo! Oh man, Dom crashed!
We have a game again, folks.
And this is the track that it can happen on.
It's almost like it's called Vengeance for a reason.
So this track is so deadly, it can kill you practically every part of the track.
Oh, Yam isn't removing loads. Hold on, I have to check the chat for that. Yam isn't removing loads, so it's roughly 10 seconds behind Dom. Does that mean that the timer is 10 seconds behind, or does that mean that, what does that mean for us? Okay, the timer is 10 seconds behind.
Okay.
What were you saying about the warden filling the chutes with... Oh! Did Dom crash again? No.
Nope.
He's just playing with his visuals.
He's just playing with the person view.
I was wondering what happened. So you were saying something about the warden filling the gravity tube.
Oh! Yeah, crashed!
I'm
It's
starting to
soft
think
locked!
that every time we talk about that, something bad happens.
Alt tab down to the soft lock.
That's good, that's good.
Oh, we'll get to the warden now. Well, what happened was that the warden filled them full of asteroids to delight the prisoners in seeing pod racers crash.
Oh, I see. Just to give a little bit of extra excitement.
Yes.
Cool crashes. Incredible.
So I've now commentated 2 out of the 3 matches where a soft lock happened.
Well, at least we know it isn't 100% you.
Well, the one I didn't... Oh, I thought for a second. Yeah, we'd go for the reactor core B.
Cutting it close there, buddy. .421 despite a death. And now we're on to the final track at Spice Mine Run for Dom. Yam's just about there. Spice Mine Run, I'm told, is interesting to optimize because trying to figure out where the lines actually are is a bit of an issue.
Also the boost timings.
That as well. And when you're playing no upgrades, you can just amplify the boost timing issue because when are you supposed to boost no upgrades?
Yeah.
It takes long enough just to cool down.
Yeah, and it also varies from pod to pod because the Beedo, I think, takes around 20 to 30 seconds to fully cool down without upgrades.
Yikes.
And, but the really fast pods in Bowls takes around 30 seconds to 37 seconds to fully cool down, which is the fastest no upgrade pod. And then second, third fastest no upgrade pods in Ben and Sebulba take 50 seconds to fully cool down.
Wow. That's when you put that into perspective like that, you could spend an entire quarter of a lap just not even doing anything because you're still cooling.
Yeah. Also, another fast pod at Myers Grove takes around 48 seconds to fully cool down here.
48 seconds, 3/4 of a minute. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. Now. Ooh, that was a good save by Dom. He almost crashed several times by threading the needle.
It's interesting. Dom had his crash and is playing slightly riskier. Yam had his crash and seems to be playing maybe a little safer. I can't tell. The duality of man.
Yeah. Oh, and Ace doing his traditional thing with no upgrades, NU sleeper.
It does seem to just be a bit of a running gag.
Yeah.
So as our matches begin to wind to a close here, is it still anyone's game, or is this squarely in Dom's pocket unless he does something incredibly stupid?
Well, you said to knock like 10 seconds off of Yam's timer to be more accurate, you said?
Something like that.
Because because even with that, it looks like he's maybe like 10 seconds behind from all accumulated. And he took a way worse death than Dom on Vengeance by getting soft block and having to alt tab out.
Oof says that he's going to be retiming everything again after just to make sure, but it does look like Dom is ahead.
Yeah. So. But the only one Nintendo 64 player in Hayudora actually managed to use Beedo for this run.
Absolute legend.
Yeah. Still couldn't use Beedo on Vengeance, but he was able to use Beedo on Aquilaris Classic, Malastare 100, and Spice Mine Run.
There's a little bit more menuing in there, but Hayu did do the thing.
Yeah. The other thing, too, which I didn't mention, which can also be very problematic with no upgrade runs, is that even the slightest bump can be fatal to the run.
Yeah, doesn't the game calculate crashes based on how much speed is lost in a single frame?
I think so. It calculates by how much speed you lose in a frame and also how sharp you turn, because once you hit 90 degree... Oh! 506 is really solid for Beedo on this track.
It is quite good. Looks like Yam will be coming in with something similar.
It's like a 508. Yep, 508. That is not bad either.
The fastest pod racer in the galaxy. Out our Beedo.
Hello.
Jeez, that was so close!
Really? Was it?
Yeah, we were looking at... Toothbrush was calculating the real time, and you were off by just under a second.
That's pretty insane. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought that went terrible for me.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
We're getting new math here. It was 2409 and 2343.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds a little more
different.
accurate.
That sounds about more accurate. Still close.
I had a clean race outside of the singular death on Vengeance.
Yeah, I had a, relatively clean race outside of a death on Vengeance, but it was in a bad spot. And also, I was a little uneven the whole rest of the time, too.
Yeah, got hit with the soft lock.
I was pretty messing with stuff the whole time because my computer was getting hot and I was starting to get frame drops. It was probably kind of hard to notice, but with Beedo, you definitely feel it. So I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not gonna blame it or anything. I'm sure you race better, but
man.
Yeah, definitely a factor.
As someone who has only played the Nintendo 64 version, which is fixed at the lowest allowable frame rate at 24, Beedo is almost impossible to control at 24 FPS, no upgrades. Especially on Vengeance, where he's just impossible to control.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Struggles enough at 60, doesn't he?
Yeah, it can be a little sketchy. Yeah, I was I was low heat in the tube in Vengeance, which never happens. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna boost a little bit in the tube, and then that just threw everything off, and I crashed straight into the softlock asteroid. And luckily, I tabbed out and in and fixed it, but it definitely was bad.
Yeah, makes sense. My death was because I boosted slightly before the exit of the tube, which automatically cancels your boost, and it threw off my boost timing. So when I tried to set up the corner, I failed and smacked into a wall.
Oh yeah, that can happen.
'Twas quite unfortunate. It would
Yeah,
have
that's
been
rough too,
great
because
vengeance outside of that too, because I lost like 7 seconds to that.
damn, yeah. Yeah, I think I came in with like a 428, so mine was pretty bad. I was like stuck going uphill with not enough speed to boost.
I think I got either a high 419 or a low 420. It was kind of hard to tell.
So by the sounds of it, this would have been a lot closer if neither of you crashed in Vengeance.
Perhaps, but
If I hadn't crashed in Vengeance, I would have been about 1 second behind my PB, which would have been a fun time.
nice. Yeah, I haven't gone back and looked, but I was basically assuming that you were gonna race cleaner, get all around better times, and I would be kind of relying on a crash, which I imagine will have been
Yeah,
the case. But
that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's going to be generally the case unless people get a little bit better before next matches, just because it's hard to come up and beat that time gap when you have to be consistent to get as good of a time as I have, if you know what I mean.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not spent a whole lot of time trying to optimize this category.
I'm
Yeah.
already looking forward to hoping that Dom crashes.
I mean, he did crash.
Yeah,
But
I'm certainly not infallible.
So you're saying there's a chance.
yeah, just
And now we have 3 matches left in 2 semis and 1 final.
Yep, I'm looking forward to Goof versus Metallica and our match digital.
Oh boy, that's gonna
yeah,
be a
those are gonna
fun
be
one.
good.
How many times is it now that Bracket has thrown you and I into the same pot?
Relative to the number of tournaments that we have both been in, far too many times.
Yeah, it's like it's every time that you're in the same tournament as me, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been.
It's both funny and very odd. But hey, at least I get to put on my best showing and I get to be against the best showing.
That's one way to phrase it.
It'll be a very interesting experience for the viewers to see someone at my level of play versus the highest level of play.
Yeah, it's gonna be good matches all around.
I'm kind of sad. I was a half a second away from beating Ace's time with a death. No,
Oh,
Ooh,
that would have been funny.
damn.
Dang,
Yeah, that's a
Comedy
very strong
platinum.
time.
Sag.
Well, yeah, very well played. Sounds like you did some great racing there. And,
Hey, I'm sure
congrats.
you did well on the parts you weren't crashing, man.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think
a pretty, it was
I think
a
with
pretty
some more
solid
prep,
run by
it'd be
both
a
of
good.
you.
Yeah,
They-
I was happy with it for like the amount of prep that I did. I guess minus the crash.
Makes sense.
say it was a lot easier to commentate on Yam's run because his stream was at least stable.
You know what's sad is that I only dropped 685 frames, and it was in the first like race or two. So after that, it should have been stable.
It did clear up, but it was really weird to be watching the both streams and then just Dom cuts out.
Oh, that's
Who
unfortunate.
says it was
Goof.
his end? And that's okay. Technical difficulties happen. This is just the world in which technology exists.
Well, if it makes you guys feel any better for the upload, I recorded my end so we can just splice it over.
Oh, and then
pretty
Goofbrush
decent
just
idea.
replied back. And then Goofbrush just said in chat, quote, Dom beat my PB even with a crash. This is so sad.
Alexa, play Despacito. All right. So, is there anything that we're supposed to say for an outro on these things, or?
Oh, man.
Well, congrats again, Dom, and
Yeah,
good luck in the
GGs.
rest.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I look forward to seeing what you can do in the actual tournament, as well as assuming you have time to compete.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to putting more time into prep for that because I would like to go further in that one for sure.
You
Yeah,
got a good chance to. You're not. I mean, not only are you a skip pioneer in a tournament where skips will be completely possible if you use forces, but also you've got way more time to prepare for that than you had for this.
True, yeah. Yeah, it'll be good. Looking forward to it.
and
You
at
really
the
wanna
moment, I
pocket
would
some
say
big
you're more of a track specialist. So if you can just spread that out to most of the tracks, then you'll be pretty good to go.
Yeah, getting times on more tracks will be very good for my tourney chances for sure.
You really want to pocket some wins. Just find a new skip and keep it secret.
That would be unethical.
For shame if you do that.
I hear For Shame's coming out, but I know that there was at one point um, a plan to run Abyss with no major skips and then use a slightly new cut that could be done in the first section, wasn't there?
When was this? Who did this? I don't remember this.
I feel like that was. Oh, that might have been.
Goof
That
says he
might have been
thinks it was his
Boonta
idea.
and KBD like a couple of years ago. I forget, but as much as we would say that keeping a skip a secret would be unethical, I'm not sure how much that matters in the world of pod racing. Have you seen how many assassins are running?
Yeah, they're out there. And yeah, no major skips. I mean, that's a whole new ball game if it ever exists.
Certainly would be interesting. Can't deny that.
We have an actual cheater in the lore in Saboba, and the funny thing is that he is the slowest pod fully upgraded.
Of course he's a cheater. How else could he win?
But he can't catch, and he has a flame jet, but he can't catch up to those he can roast fully upgraded.
Oh, what else is in the lore? Aldar Beedo's an assassin. Elon Mack is a crime boss who put his name in backwards to try and disguise himself. Good job there.
To assassinate Beedo.
Yeah. So, crime, cheater. There's like more criminals in the roster somewhere. I'd have to look. Fudd saying actual criminal, incarcerated and everything. Ugh. This has been an exciting thing to do. I'm glad I woke up from a nap for this.
Oh man, it was really fun.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you guys hopping in on commentary for the match. Thank you for participating in the tournament here, Yam.
Indeed,
And
yeah, GG's.
I hope everybody looks forward to the future matches that we'll have upcoming, which we'll have scheduled hopefully soon, I would say.
I think that you and I should probably schedule our match pretty soon. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of days off to use for it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty open, so we should have it scheduled soon.
Awesome.
So yeah, stick around for that in the upcoming days, and I'll see everybody next time.
Yep, sounds good. GG's again, and catch y'all later.
GG's. See you guys, and may the force be with you.
Yep. Good luck, everyone. May the force be with you.